like first thing after crossing the bridge is like unroll the windows and like stick my head out the window, and that smell of hot dirt and bay leaves is just completely the smell of Hidden Villa for me. Goats, sheep, chickens. It's cold and it's foggy and you're like out there and the cows' udders are so warm. We even have bunnies and pigs. Say like really all the people I've loved in my life have been from camp. All right, it is December 6th, 2024, and we are in Berkeley in my living room. My name is Heather Skibbins, and I am a former Hidden Villa camper, counselor, program head, and a teacher who brought her kids, and now mama of campers. So how I got to Hidden Villa was actually completely random, which it's one of those moments where you think about your life branching in a million different paths, and this one certainly was one of the defining things in my life. My mom said she wanted me to go to a sleepaway camp because she'd gone as a kid and had so much fun. So I started as a camper at 12 years old, and I didn't really want to go. The first session that I went, I was miserable. I had never been away from home at a sleepaway camp before, and I cried every night and would beg my counselors to send me home. And then somewhere on the third or fourth day, I settled in. The first year, Liz Dana, who's one of the Duvenex kids, would lead these barn dances, and she would be like, grab your partner, like it was full on old-timey barn dance. And I had the most hideous outfit that I wore, which was full, like Holstein cow, like black and white cow, had a black and white cow sweatshirt and matching jeans. And I decided to wear the entire cow outfit with a red bandana around my neck. It was very classy. My mom always says it was like the best decision she ever made was to send me to camp because, as she tells it, I went to camp as like a 12-year-old girl, and she's like, you were just starting to get all like girly and like super into like whatever hair and makeup and boys and that whole scene. And she's like, and then you just came back from camp and you had this whole other perspective around like what deep connection feels like. And these best friends that you made were like when you were dirty and sleeping in the dirt and you're, in your grubby camp clothes. I do think there is something for so many different people and in different ways of just feeling really seen and accepted and loved for who they really were. That is a deeply profound experience at any age. There's a reason why, like, it is the core part of, like, who my close friends are in life. My husband was sort of my first love. We met when we were both counselors. He was like a little high school skater. I think it was that basis of starting from camp and starting from a friendship was really sweet and really different. You could clearly see he was one of these guys who was like, had this school persona that was like, cool guy, skater, whatever, but that actually he was like, had this real vulnerable side that he didn't share very often. And that summer, his dad had passed away a few years ago. And like, there was definitely like this, very sensitive, sweet guy underneath that being at camp allowed him to share. And then we broke up. He broke my heart, but we stayed really close friends. And then I actually fell in love with another amazing guy from camp. And then when that ended, Ryan helped comfort me through that breakup and comforted me very effectively. He proposed when we were at Hidden Villa, and he was trying to make it up to Ewing Hill, but I think he got too nervous on the way up, and so it was just this like random little patch of trail on the hike up to Ewing Hill. Enrico is 13 and Felix is 11. They're pretty awesome. They have been coming to Hidden Villa since they were little. We would go and rent out Josephine's cabin and stay there. And we organized a bunch of different reunions over the years. So they had this experience of like being there with camp people and it, being a place that already kind of felt like home. But I remember the first year that we sent them both to the sleepaway camp, I definitely had that feeling of, oh God, like what if they hate it? What if they never want to go back? Like, what if they just have a horrible time? Because, like, and some sessions do suck. Like, it happens. Like, what if that happens and they don't like it? So worried. And, it's also so strange in this modern world to be away from your kids. I think Enrico just sent me one letter, that I didn't get until, like, practically he was home. But then it was so great to pick them up. They're all dirty and holding their float and, have their little wood cookie on and have their names, camp name. I was like, okay, I think that worked. But it wasn't until later that summer. There was some moment we were just sitting somewhere outside and Enrico's like, got all teary-eyed and was like, I'm just really missing camp. I'm like, oh, it got you too. Like that little heart piece of just like, oh, you really feel about this place something like we feel about this place.